Evernite here. Welcome back, and if you've been following along so far, then you've probably realized that we are not in the same place that we left off before, and there's a reason for that. I want to switch gears with this playthrough and open this up a bit more to a feeling of a walkthrough, guide, very thorough kind of playthrough. Something that's more fun for me, and I mean, I love this game so much. I want people to get interested in it, but I don't want them to run into the same frustrations I do, which is odd because half the fun of this game is getting frustrated. Spoilers, I guess. So, I went with the Pyromancer this playthrough, and I chose the Master Key. And because I chose the Master Key, I'm going to be running by this Asylum demon, as opposed to killing him with black fire bombs like I did last time. I'm going to be going through a more traditional run-through of this area. And I guess I want to kick this off by talking about the interface. I mean, Dark Souls is very minimalistic in what it provides you as far as information goes. The main important things that you need to keep an eye on, of course, are your energy and your health bars in the top left. You can see as I sprint, my energy is going down, and your energy really determines everything you can do in this game, aside from casting spells. Any attack you do, anytime you roll to dodge, any block, any sprinting is all capped by how much endurance you have. Endurance/energy. So keeping that in mind, it is a very important stat, even for magic users. To stay alive, you're going to need to roll a lot. Your health, of course, is just like health in any other game.
I'll die soon.
Once it hits 0, you die.
Lose
and it's going to happen a lot. The whole theme of Dark Souls is that you're going to die. So you better get used to that real quick and get a grasp on your mortality, or you're going to have a bad time. Right next to the health and energy bars, you notice the double zeros. That number is actually tracking a very important kind of fleeting stat called humanity. You earn humanity by well, it's kind of given to you pretty commonly throughout the game. The number up there is what's known as soft humanity, and that's granted to you on certain things like killing a certain number of mobs before the area boss has been cleared out. You can get it from invading and killing other players in their own worlds. There's lots of ways to get it. It's very important. The number at the top is what's known as soft humanity, and it's tied to your current life. When you die, all of your souls and humanity are left behind in a little green ball at the place of your death. If you can manage to get back to that, then you can recover everything that you've lost. Sounds easy, but in Dark Souls it's not nearly as easy as you'd think it might be. So the other way to gain humanity is through the humanity items that you'll get when you kill bosses or complete certain quests. That's kind of more fluid humanity in the fact that you won't lose it when you die unless you use that humanity to add it to your soft humanity total. And that kind of covers the interface aside from the items on the bottom left. You'll notice in my right slot I have my weapon, left slot shield. In the bottom I will have all of the items that I will eventually be cycling through, and on the top is my spells. My spells are actually linked to my Pyromancy Flame, which is the second item that I have. Now, since we're on the boss, I'm going to go ahead and talk about him. The Asylum Demon is the first guy you're going to run into that gives you any sort of trouble, unless you're really struggling with the first place, like I did in my first playthrough. Notice, as soon as I came in, I dove down, I hit him. You can accomplish that just by running off the edge, pressing R1 as you're coming down. Now with this guy, the main thing you want to do, and this holds true for every Asylum Demon you'll face here until the end of the game, get behind him, get right in the center of him. You don't want to be off to one side, you don't want to be on his leg, you want to be right behind him. He does a lot of forward attacks and a lot of wide sweeping horizontal attacks that you can completely avoid by staying behind him. Pretty much wait until he swings and start taking chunks of his health out. It helps to go ahead and use your weapon in a two-handed stance, and it also helps to use a fast weapon. So those are some tips I can give you right there. And so there's that humanity I was talking about earlier. For killing the boss, I got 1. So that should be the end of the Asylum. The other thing that I wanted to talk about is the messages, because those confuse so many people when they're running through. I know one guy I talked to actually thought they were quests and spent a while trying to figure out how to complete them. I was rolling at that. But these messages are actually one of the few ways that you interact with other players playing Dark Souls. When you're playing, you're kind of in your own world, doing your own thing, and everybody else is as well. The only ways to interact are to invade other people, to be summoned as a cooperative partner, or to leave messages. Anybody can leave messages, and anybody can rate the messages that are left. It's kind of a weird system in that you can't type out what you want to say, and you just choose from some predetermined choices from drop-down menus. But they're a way to either help or mislead other players. I've run into some that were extremely useful, like pointing out a hidden wall, pointing out bonfires that I may have missed, pointing out items that may be off the beaten path, and I've also run into ones that were designed to kill me, like somebody telling me there was an invisible platform, below a cliff, or somebody saying to try a certain strategy against a boss that was definitely not the right way to face him. So there's different ways that you can kind of enjoy the game. If you want to be a little bit more of a dick, go for that. So we're going to be landing here in Lordran. This is the first bonfire that you'll meet outside of the kind of tutorial starting area. And when I get here, I like to offload all of my souls immediately, leveling up. I'm going to be going with a strength and pyromancy build. So I'm going to jump into strength and dexterity early on so I can get some weapons. And I'll go over some finer tips of character development in the next episode, or the episode after that. The reason I like to dump off my souls as soon as I get here is that I want to run and gather all of the items around Firelink, and that requires you to have very little risk. So when we start the next episode, which I'm going to pause it right here, I'm going to be showing you the route I like to take when I first start playing. So go ahead and stay tuned for that. Thanks for watching.